Hello, I'd like to invite you into a meditation, second meditation on our Elijah sequence here through the cave. And this one is on communion. So let's settle into your chair, settle into this space. Feel your feet on the ground and sense that you are being upheld. You are being supported. You are being loved. Get in touch with your breath, that magical flow from God in and through you constantly, sustaining your very life. So as we settle into this space, into this moment in time, letting go of the cares and concerns of the day, and just receiving this moment as a gift. Receive your being without needing to do anything. The best container for communion is silence. So our outer world isn't always completely silent. In fact, it rarely is. But get into a space where it's as undistracted as possible. And then we turn our attention to the inner silence. Sometimes that's even harder. As you let the chatter quieten down, all the voices, those voices serve a purpose, but right now we're just looking for the gentle whisper that Elijah found in his cave. Be aware that even as we come into the cave, we have an agenda. I feel sure that Elijah had his. I know that when I went into my cave last week, I had an agenda. Fortunately, the Spirit knows us so intimately that the Spirit knows sometimes what we need even more than what we want in the moment. So know that God cares about what you want. If it matters to you, it matters to God. But sometimes before we can engage our agenda, we just need some healing at the soul level. So allow the Spirit to sift through some of the layers and come to that deeper place in your heart as you ask yourself, what is it that I most truly need right now? And what is it that God would most delight to give to you? Out of the storehouse of God's abundance, He has all that we need. And oftentimes, before we get into the more doing side of our lives, God wants to first address the being side, just the identity side. That's what God had to speak into Elijah's heart. Elijah felt like a failure. Despite all the good that he had done in his service to the Jewish people, he felt like his usefulness was done and gone. And maybe you feel some version of that. Maybe you feel like what I'm doing doesn't really matter, and no one would even notice if I were gone. God has something to say about that. So let's just tune in and listen right now. Let God drop the simplest thing, the truest thing, into your awareness. Maybe it's an echo of your deep desire. The cry of your heart, the sense of what you crave most, long for most. God holds everything that we long for, everything that we truly need. It's God's great delight to give that to you right now. And as we continue in this sacred cave space, God does something else for us that is simple and just powerful beyond all reckoning, and that is He mirrors us. Like looking into a mirror to see who it is that we are. God will speak who we are, and we need to hear it. I'm reminded of what Jesus asked the disciples at a crucial juncture in his journey. He said, "Who do you say that I am?" Jesus also needed to get that mirroring. So let your heart ask that of God now. Who do you say that I am? Really? Who am I? What is the truest reality? What is my worth? Why am I valuable? Why am I beloved? What is it, God, that you respect about me or admire about me or see in me that is priceless and worth being, worth doing the work to live and show up in this world? As you let God answer this profound question, let it be a salve to anything that feels raw or untended or unhealed inside right now. The Spirit of God hovers over the waters of our souls. There's a creative essence in the Spirit of God that is it is formative. And things are always needing to be formed, and sometimes they get a little deformed in us and they need to be renewed. We need that breath, that ruach of God to bring fresh life, fresh confidence, fresh security, fresh knowing. What is it that God most wants to say to you today in the place of communion? This intimate place where we let every facade, every pretense fall away, and we can just be really, really real. I encourage you to write down in a journal what it is that God wants to say about who you are today, and to share that with at least one trusted soul in your life. And now that that place of identity is being tended to and restored and renewed, now we're in a place to be able to bring our legitimate agendas before God and ask for wisdom. Ask for guidance. Ask for discernment. Ask for the knowing about how to step more fully and meaningfully into the calling that's on your life. There's a reason for your life. There are gifts and deposits in you that only you can bring forward. Our job is to steward that, to wait for the gentle whisper so that we know the next step to take. What's stirring in your heart about next steps? There is a knowing inside of us. There is the inner light. It's what the Quakers called it. And if we can just peel away enough of the clutter, the obstacles, clarity comes. And then we know the next right thing to do. Let's end this meditation with the feelings of gratitude. The gratitude for yourself and the receiving of the gift of you. Gratitude for the faithfulness and omnipresence of God in your life and the goodness that brings that presence available to you at every moment. Gratitude for the magic of today, the beauty that surrounds us, the goodness that attends us, and then carry that forward into the rest of your day. God be with you.